The following program is proudly sponsored by the Party Anthems album from Sony Music and Comcopy, the duplication specialists.
Hi, and welcome to the new Sprockets,
the film review show with a bent edge. I'm Madeleine Swain. Tonight we're going to be looking at Patrice Chéreau's new film, I Am Margot.
And I'm Robert Ellsworth, and we'll also be looking at Luc Besson's first English language film, The Professional.
And Herbert Ross's marvellous Boys on the Side.
Good film.
Also, we'll be introducing a new segment, Naughty Bits, in which we take sneak peeks at your favourite celebrity nude scenes.
And for those fan letters requesting to see our Naughty Bits, this is a movie review show, not a video dating service.
Not that he couldn't use one.
Hey.
Also, if we have time, we'll be returning to our Twisted Video segment, so don't touch that dial.
Henri de Bourbon, roi de Navarre, acceptes-tu de prendre pour épouse Marguerite de Valois?
J'accepte.
Marguerite de Valois. Acceptes-tu pour époux Henri de Bourbon, roi de Navarre?
The French love their historical costume sagas, and this is a particularly fine example from Patrice Chéreau, who was previously known for his gay-themed L'Homme Blessé,
which stars Jean-Hugh and Blade in his first feature film.
And he also stars in this one as King Charles.
Yes. The time is 1572, the place is France, torn apart by the warring factions of Catholics and Protestants.
Now, a ruthless matriarch, Catherine de Medici, deliciously played by Werner Lisi, decides to marry off her daughter Margot, played by Isabelle Adjani, to the King of Navarre, Henri de Bourbon, played by Daniel Auteuil.
Good, you said all those so well.
Oh, thank you.
On the eve of their wedding, thousands of Protestants dressed in black, no, they're not trying to make a fashion statement, storm the wonderful city of Paris. It's wonderful.
It's marvelous. It's American in Paris. You get it? Anyway, tension mounts. And so does Margot, the horny Margot, as she strides the streets looking for a lusty lover to satisfy her sexual urges.
Yes, and she sure finds them in Vincent Perez. Their steamy sex scenes together definitely got a rise out of me.
Yes, well, on that note, perhaps it's time for a clip. Henriette!
Je passerai pas la nuit sans un homme.
Et vous êtes arrivé quand? Oui, c'est difficile. Je sais pas. Non seulement je connais pas du tout ça. C'est comme ça.
Oof. Next comes the biggest massacre in French history.
Yes, it's pretty gory, folks, because this is the night of St. Bartholomew, and let me tell you, the goings-on make Pulp Fiction look like Baby's Day Out.
Definitely. To give away more of the plot would ruin it for you guys, but let's just say I loved it. Queen Margot packed a wallop. It's majestic, salacious, erotic.
Filled with passion and tension, not to mention a bit of debauchery thrown in for good measure. There's exhibitionism, incestuous rape, and crowd scenes to surpass Ben-Hur.
Sounds like a Friday night at the Peel.
Armagnac! J'ai cru mort. Ils m'ont permis de me rejoindre. Je me suis converti, moi aussi. Prenez pas honte, l'important c'est qu'on soit vivant. Pourquoi sonne-t-on les cloches? Y a plus personne à tuer. Si. Ton ami Condé qui nous a glissé entre les pattes. Un protestant de plus ou de moins, vous n'allez pas en faire une maladie.
Tu es le roi d'un pays catholique aujourd'hui. Tu peux être fier.
Oui, tu peux être fier. Tu es le roi d'un pays où plus rien ne s'agite, hormis des pendus au gibet. Paris est un cimetière. Tes sujets sont des morts couverts de terre, des vivants couverts de honte. Et vous qui êtes toujours si inquiète pour vos fils, vous pouvez être tranquille. Ils sont maudits pour l'éternité. Et moi aussi, je suis maudite.
Pourquoi?
Parce que vous avez invité vos victimes à mes noces. Vous vous êtes servi de moi. Vous vous êtes servi de nous comme un carnage.
Verna Lisi won the Best Actress Award at Cannes last year, and it's easy to see why. She swoops and skulks around the Louvre looking like Betty Davis when she used to play Elizabeth I.
She didn't look like Betty Davis.
Yeah, around the forehead.
Oh, they both had big foreheads. Anyway, the film won the Grand Jury Prize at Cannes this year, but my favorite scene was when, what was that the guy's name?
Gregory Pascal.
Gregory Pascal slobbers his love with a French kiss on his ascension to the throne.
Yeah, well, you would like that one, wouldn't you?
Hey.
Also, Jean-Hugues Anglade was fabulous as Charles. There's this scene where he literally sweats blood that is just absolutely riveting. But he does get one of my smelly underpants awards, I'm afraid, for yet again playing a part in which he looks as if he hasn't shaved, washed his clothes, or had a bath for at least 6 years.
Check out this clip.
Tu le sais, Dolores.
Tu ne les haïssais pas, je le sais. Tu as sucé la foi protestante avec mon lait. Mon enfant, mon petit innocent.
Ma tante. Je les vois. Transpire du sang tous comme moi.
Ça, toi aussi tu as aimé en secret. Accorde-moi la grâce de monsieur.
C'est lui qui m'a empoisonné.
Non, ce n'est pas lui.
C'est pas lui, mais faut dire que c'est lui.
Mais pourquoi? Qui t'a empoisonné?
It's the type of movie I can't get enough of. I just wish that Americans could make sagas like this instead of those boring, god-awful family epics that we've become accustomed to.
You mean like Legends of the Falling Asleep?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it really breathes new life into the costume epic. History lessons were never this much fun.
Oh, they sure weren't. It's a grandiloquent saga of fury and fervor.
And I wouldn't mind a spot of fervor with that, Isabelle, let me tell you.
Allez, bien. Allez!
J'ai voulu la paix, Margot. La paix pour les royaumes. La paix pour mes enfants. À partir d'aujourd'hui, tu ne quitteras plus le Louvre. Comme ça, tu resteras avec ton mari et vos amis protestants.
Qu'est-ce qui te prend, Margot? Ton mari est devenu catholique. Tu vas pas devenir protestante.
S'est passé quelque chose cette nuit, Margot? Oui, quelque chose de plus.
I give it a 9, and I give the sex scenes a 10.
I give it an 8. It's certainly a whole heap better than that worthy but rather dull Colonel Chabert.
Actually, I can't wait till the movie comes out on video, because then we'll get to include it in our naughty bits section, because in this movie you get to see that Vincent Perez has more than a mouthful.
Yes, you do see that, don't you? And, anyway, coming up next, Boys on the Side, starring Whoopi Goldberg, Mary Louise Parker, and every queer girl's favourite het, Drew Barrymore.
Hey, you didn't say anything about Vincent Perez's Willie.
I think it was plain.
Okay, oh, sorry.
You made it.
There she is.
I was afraid some crime would keep you away.
No, it couldn't. It happens to be a slow night. Be
It's
ready.
time to go. Good night, everyone. We're going to clean up. Excuse me. Nice to meet you, Officer Lincoln.
No, please. Call me Abe.
Abe? As in Abe Lincoln? What is this, some kind of joke?
No, it's his name. Isn't that a coincidence? Just like the president. I mean, like, I wonder why his parents thought Abraham and Lincoln sounded good together.
Now, let me guess. You must be Robin. Nice to meet you, Robin. And this is Jane.
Oh.
Hi, Jane. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Peppers.
Yes, sir. From my garden.
Oh, isn't he sweet?
Hold on, babe.
We love this film. I can't remember the last time that the both of us cried and laughed so much. Do you?
Yeah, that Night at Three Faces, remember?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, Robert's right, though. It's a marvellous film. The sort of dramedy we see all too rarely these days.
Dramedy.
Yeah, drama comedy.
Ah, sure.
Yeah, I made it up. I mean, how else do you explain the seamless combination of humour and pathos which Don Roos's screenplay so effortlessly achieves? It's kind of a cross between terminal endearment...
excuse me. Terms of endearment?
I know what I mean. And Thelma and Louise, the kind of woman's film which will appeal to everybody apart from perhaps your die-hard, separatist, feminist, politically correct lesbians and perhaps those boring old red-blooded het boys.
And those bearded dykes. Oh, sorry. But anyway, we love the film. The only people that I think that won't like it are those brain-dead bogans from Peter Perry?
Coober
Petey. Somewhere up there, anyway. We don't transmit up there yet, do we?
But I hope we never do. Herbert Ross has made a great movie and a scintillating return to form, the sort of films he used to make in the 60s, like California Suite or Goodbye Girl, and early 70s.
Anyway, Jane called me at work, wants to know how you are.
I'm fine. Who's Jane?
Jane used to live here up until a few days ago.
You stay out of this, Holly. It's between me and Jane. Well, she asked for my advice, so I told her she's anti-lesbian.
I am not.
Who's a lesbian?
Jane is.
And she was living here?
Yes, ma'am.
I am not anti-lesbian.
Not you, her.
Who? Jane.
See, this is her old problem. She creates a situation where she gets this rejection that everyone else sees coming.
She just wasn't being honest.
Well, I think it's a black thing, too. Jane is black?
Yes, ma'am, she sure is.
And you can't live a lie. You just can't.
Well, there's lying, and then there's just not telling.
Big dip. She's a black lesbian?
Yes, ma'am, that is right.
And she was living here. With you? No. She was just living here. It wasn't like or anything. Were you?
Were you?
Are you?
Whoopi Goldberg plays a lesbo lounge singer who's sick and tired of her unappreciative gigs back in the Big Apple. So she answers an ad placed by uptight yuppie Sarah Jessica Parker, or is it Mary Louise Parker? I can't stand those three names.
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Anyway, and they decide to go cross country.
Greedy. Anyway, this mismatched duo hit the road.
Hit
Jack.
the road, Jack.
And don't come back no more.
Anyway, when they visit a real irresponsible friend of theirs, played by Betty Ford dropout Drew Barrymore.
And then the trio head west. Go west and have a wonderful time until they discover that Drew, spunky old Drew, is, shall we say, in a certain condition and is probably connected with a murder.
Don't give away too much of the plot. Anyway, this is when the action begins.
Action.
I can't believe this. I mean, he was alive when we left. I have a photo. Do you think it would help?
Or Nick. He's such a nice guy once in a while.
Stop with the nice guy stuff. They have to believe this was self-defense.
Who's they?
Who's they? The cops in Pittsburgh.
Oh, you want me to go back there?
Yeah.
Now?
Yes.
I couldn't.
Why not?
Memories.
What? Good memories.
Why does she have to go back? Why don't we just pretend we never saw it?
Please tell me you're kidding.
No. When we left, he was alive. How do we know that what she did killed him? Exactly. I mean, he could have tripped and hit his head on the bat. It could happen.
No. You're going back. This is not a game.
I can't go to jail. Not with the baby.
Whoopi Goldberg finally gets to make up for the whitewashed lesbian she played in Steven Spielberg's The Color Purple. This time she plays a terrific, non-stereotypical dyke who, silly girl, has a thing about straight girls.
Not a good look, Whoopi. Anyway, Herbert Ross has also populated the film with a spunky collection of spunks. It's a lot of spunks in one line. That says a lot about Mr. Ross, who heterosexualized the ballet world in The Turning Point.
Hard but true.
What is the nature of your friendship with Holly Culture?
Excuse me?
Oh, I'm sorry, let me rephrase the question. How would you characterize your friendship?
I would call her my friend. Now, come on. What is this friendship stuff?
Well, that's precisely what I'm trying to find out. Let me put this delicately to avoid offending the court. Is there a romantic character to your friendship?
Objection! Overruled. You may proceed, Mr. Massarelli.
Thank you. To repeat, Ms. DeLuca, is there a romantic character to your friendship with the defendant?
No, Mr. Maserati, there is not.
You are, however, one of these gay women that we read about, or do you prefer lesbian?
Do I prefer them to you?
Are you gay?
Do I look gay?
Please answer the question. Are you gay?
Yes, I am. And I'm sure you hear that from women all the time. But in my case, it happens to be true.
Even the minor characters are well-rounded. The comic moments were shriekingly funny. As we shrieked, and afterwards the toilets were crammed with...
Oh, no, another smelly underpants story.
No, let me finish.
Okay.
The toilets were crammed with sobbing women.
Those women with
sobbing.
Well, the men's room was crammed with 2 tearful drag queens and a drunk cleaning lady. Get that? But anyway, I thoroughly loved the film. Go and see it, but make sure you have some toilet paper for your nose and your eyes, because it's going to make you cry and laugh and the whole spiel.
How many points do you give it?
Oh, I don't know. I give it a 10. A 10.
I give it 8.5. I loved it too, but it would have been nice if Whoopi had got a snog at least, but that's a minor quibble, I understand.
Very minor.
Next up, Naughty Bits.
All you lax Catholics should know which film featured this tantalising peek at Dolph DeVries' Naughty Bits. It was directed by a foreigner. No, we're not telling you which country. He made it big in America showing A Certain Blonde's Naughty Bits. In fact, that movie went on to be one of the biggest grossing films of 1992. Give up? The film is Paul Verhoeven's The Fourth Man, a highly original, atmospheric thriller, based on Dutch writer Gerard Reeves' best-selling novel of the same name.
Tonight we were watching Robert Aldrich's unintentional camp classic, The Killing of Sister George. Let's see some more. No taste. Shut up.
Did it have to be here? Sorry about the circumstances, but I don't think it makes any real difference. No, of course you don't, because you planned it like this in the beginning. Well, in point of fact, I merely intended to let the poor girl spend the night in some place where she'll be free from your drunken fright. You think you're so bloody powerful, don't you? What are your precious employers going to say when they find you had me sacked so that you could creep into bed with someone you what? You stupid woman. I didn't have you sacked. If you'd taken the trouble to read the confidential material that you stole from my briefcase, you'd know that you were dismissed because you're a fat, boring actress, and people are sick to death of you.
Based on the insipid play by Frank Marcus, this story concerns an aging dark actress whose life is falling apart. Tell us about it.
Please. Yes, the actress is played by Beryl Reid, who has a long-running role in a soap opera, and she plays this rather sweet, charming little district nurse called Sister George. Anyway, the producers of the show find out that on the side she has a girly girlfriend played by Susanna York who wears baby doll dresses and is completely puerile, and they decide to write her character out of the show. Hence the killing of Sister George. Let's have another look.
Sit. Stay. You know the drill. And what do we do now? I show my contrition. How?
I eat the butt of your cigar. That's right. Must I? You know the rules.
What a bitch, making you do that with the cigar. That was sick.
Yeah, but she's also the funniest thing in this movie. Much as I hate the killing of Sister George, and boy I do, I think it's really dated, and I'm so glad when I see things like Boys on the Side these days, which makes me think how far we've come, but at the same time there are moments in this that are really good. There's a bit where Farrah Reid picks out of her face as George, because she's just been sacked from the show or something, gets into this cab full of nuns, and she looks inside the cab and goes, "Oh, girls." Don't miss it.
Enough of that. Next up, the professional.
Hey! Yo!
What a clip!
I've got any more guns in that shot? Well, anyway, Luc Besson is idolised in France for his sleek, sometimes violent, stylised films.
Subway, The Big Blue, La Femme Nikita, The Final Conflict.
In this English-language film, Luc Besson returns to the razzle-dazzle of La Femme Nikita to fashion a subversive and peculiar film with meticulously rendered characterization.
Yeah, Jean Reno, is excellent as the assassin, Leon, who has nothing in his life except for his work, which is called cleaning in the film, strangely enough. And suddenly a little girl stumbles into his life, and as Danny Aiello tells him, change is not good, Leon.
Well, it was a bit too violent for my taste, but you decide.
Quite similar to Nikita, I found, but personally I enjoy The Professionals much more because it has a bit more of an emotional resonance, and also I think Natalie Portman gives a really mature performance as a little girl who's orphaned and taken in by the hitman Leon.
Well, I was really uncomfortable with the sexual theme running through the film.
That's alright.
I thought it was really interesting how Besson actually fashioned the film as a kind of odd love story. And for you John Woo fans, there's a lot of gun action in this film. I think he pays homage to him for sure.
He definitely has a penchant for big guns.
What is it with you guys and guns?
Hey, bigger is better.
Oh, not with a 12-year-old girl.
Well, anyway, I also like the way that Besson shoots New York because I think he gives it a real foreigner's point of view. It's something that we haven't seen with films that have been shot in New York, and it seems different.
He definitely gives it a new milieu. Let's take a look at this next clip. But not you, Sharon.
Don't touch that, please.
Leanne, what exactly do you do for a living?
Cleaner.
You mean you're a hitman?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I'm giving it a 5, but that's only because I'm feeling generous.
And I think special mention has to go to Gary Oldman for his wild, drug-fucked baddie in the film, and I think he's been playing a lot of really big characters lately, hasn't he?
I think he's doing crack because this character was so over the top. His characters keep getting progressively worse since Dracula.
Gary, hang up your cape.
Listen, I did find the film moving, subversive, and quite original. An American could never have done a film like this. I'm giving it a 7. I would have given it a higher score, but Gary Oldman, I just can't stand watching you on screen anymore. That's all I have to say about it.
Well, I like Gary Oldman, and I have to say also I love the big shootout at the end. We had this really grand operatic Woo-esque style, if there's such a word, and I'm going to give it an 8.
What's happening out there?
All right, man, go away, DA. Police.
Why don't you leave that poor family alone?
Stuff, right? Everything's all right. Just calm down. I'm calm. I'm calm.
Why don't you leave them alone?
He said, go back inside. I think it's better if we go inside, all right?
Yeah. But,
Looks like we're out of time again.
anyway, next week we'll be reviewing Richard Linklater's new slacker European film, Before Sunrise.
Starring the rather pasty-faced Julie Delpy.
Hey, I like her, but we'll take care of that next week.
Thanks for watching. Good night. I'm Madeleine Swain.
And I'm Robert Ellsworth. Good night. Those women were
Sobbing, fit to be tied.
They were fit to be tied.
No,
is that okay, yeah?
This program was proudly sponsored by the Party Anthems album from Sony Music and Comcopy, the duplication specialists.